And that's a good point. Aren't there other assets, types of assets you can buy to or spend your money on to protect
You're
yourself?
allowed to have your clothing. You're allowed to have your personal jewelry, any possessions in your home. You're allowed to remodel your home. Hey, by the way, the biggest trend out there are seniors seniorizing their home. Go to any Home Depot, Lowe's, or Home Improvement Center, and you'll find a special section for seniors.
Senior-friendly homes.
Yes.
Safe.
Let's soften the corners. Let's make some ramps. Let's make some things in the kitchen where things are accessible. We don't have to reach. If you have stairs, that type of thing.
What about funeral arrangements, prepaid?
Prepaid funeral, good idea.
It's always a good idea. Bob, when a client comes into your office and you're talking to them about their will and their statutory documents, I assume funeral planning comes up. One of the biggest sources of acrimony at the time of death are funerals and funeral plans. Not for just the widow or survivors, but for other people. So you don't want to ever leave that hanging in the wind. Just, we're all going to pass. It's not if, it's when. And we need to be responsible to put our final wishes down.
But would that be money
considered an asset?
Well, would it be money well spent to reduce is what I'm asking.
Many people know where they want to go, where they want to be finally to laid at rest. They can go there.
Up.
Yeah.
You said up, and I know down.
And we've all been associated with that recently as well, and I understand that. But yes, Bob, to answer your question, that is an asset that's exempt from Medicaid, from that scrutiny. So that would go in a funeral trust, and the language on that has to be irrevocable. There are some prepaid funeral plans out there that are not irrevocable. So those are not protected. So you have to use a particular type of language.
So going back to what you're talking about, then could you explain to Mary and I, when does this money have to be spent? Are there very important time limits here?
Well, there's something I want to clear up too, since you brought up the mortality issue. Life insurance. Many of the people you run across out there, and in your clients, Mary, and also in your line of work with the seniors, they have life insurance policies, and they're accumulators. They're like squirrels and little nuts or acorns, and they have little $1,500 policies or $5 or $10, and they've gathered them. Well, guess what? Medicaid says if you have a cash value insurance policy of more than $1,500, you can't get Medicaid. Wow.
Yeah.
You can literally have no money in your bank, maybe a small Social Security pittance income, but if you have a large, say, $25,000 death benefit, you can't get Medicaid.
So what do you suggest people do?
Well, after they meet with you, you'll make a recommendation, typically go through a financial advisor, do a liquidation, and then take that money and put it in a Medicaid exempt investment or a Medicaid compliant annuity, something that will protect it from MERP and allow them to go into Medicaid.
Yes.
And I know we're going to get into this later on, but are you talking about certain trusts that can be created by
Maintain the
attorneys?
wealth, Bob, and let's put it in a different form.
Okay.
And whatever
that
trust
is exempt then from Medicaid, and in terms of this is an asset, so we're not going to let you get Medicaid. Put it there, protect it, and still be able to get
Medicaid is very specific as to what type of trust those are and investments and how they work.